Hi everybody, Papa Kenny from Papa Kenny's Workshop. Before I get into this, I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. We sure did. We had a big family party. Kids went swimming in the pool, so we had a blast. Second of all, thank you for the amount of interest that you've all shown on this project and all the input from everybody. It's truly humbling. You know, I never expected the feedback that I'm getting every day. My subscribers are climbing and climbing, and thank you so much. It's unbelievable. Like I said, it's so humbling. All right, so back to the project. Why it's all apart? Because we're gonna paint this thing, and I'm actually waiting on my grandkids to come by. We're gonna get together, all of us. I'm gonna show them how to sand. I'm going to show them how to prime, and I'm going to let them paint it. It's all about them. The whole project's all about the grandkids. And me too. I'm a big grandkid, I guess you could say. Alright, so while I'm waiting on them to get that should be a couple days, I'm working on trying to get some of the bugs out that I had, especially with belt slippage. It did dry, but I had belt slippage and noises and everything else, so I'm working on that stuff now. Here's something that he never explained. I don't have the level hooked up, but this transaxle basically has reverse, neutral, and drive. But you see 7 gears over here, and if you looked on the side of the body, it says 7 gears. Well, obviously it's not 7 gears. It is, and it isn't. So how you get them 7 gears is, all right, the pulley from there's a pulley on the front of the engine that runs this belt. And at the same time, that belt's spinning this double pulley here. See this pulley? The top is for the engine. The bottom runs the belt for the transaxle. The bottom, it's all one pulley, but it's 2 separate sections. And the bottom half that runs the transaxle, as you apply tension to it, that pulley, bottom part of the pulley rides up. I'm not very good at explaining things. And basically, it's like, as it goes up, it makes the pulley smaller, and you get your gear reduction through that bottom pulley. I hope they explained that well enough. I'm not very good at explaining things, but if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment sections, and I'll answer them the best I can. The other problem I was having, here's that clutch pedal and linkage that I talked about with the belt interference. Alright, so my belt, I barely have any room to go over the top of it, and on the bottom the same thing. It was horrible. So my first option was, I was going to cut this rod here, and I'm going to put a piece of flat stock there and there, and I was going to lower that center bar, whatever you want to call it, and I was going to give my clearance over the top of it. I still may have to do that, but I want to try one other thing first. Here's the linkage. So as you step on this pedal, this linkage pulls forward, and it pulls on this here. That's where you get slack in the belt, so the belt spins on the front pulley without transferring any power back here. So that's how that clutch system works. What I'm going to do is, on this linkage, you see how it kind of goes uphill? It goes like this, uphill. I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to turn this rod. You'll see what I mean. Once I cut it, I put my foot here. I'm going to cut it, and instead of this thing going uphill, I want it to come in sideways, because I'm going to change to the bottom hole. I don't know if that's going to give me any more clearance here, but we're going to start with that. And once I cut this, I'll show you what I mean, because I'm horrible at explaining things. So let me cut this and tack it up, because I'm going to have to shorten it anyway. But I'll tack it up, and we'll go from there. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, so I changed the angle of the rod, as you can see it. Okay, so when it goes in, it's going to go in like that. Now, let me see if I can do this right. This is going to go through here. It's a little, oh, sorry about that. Through there. Alright, so we're going to put that in. I'm going to put it in, see how it fits. Alright, so I got the rod in. I got this lever set at 5. It's going to give me a little bit more room to pull. And I'm going to, actually you can see the rod's a little bit too long. If I can get this thing out of the way. This goes down in there. So what I'm going to do is cut it so that the thread ends up in the middle of that. This here. This will give me a little bit of adjustment back and forth. But I want to show you underneath what it looks like. Bear with me. Don't mind my creeper. Alright. So here's that rod going across. The clutch lever rod. Whatever you want to call it. Actually the clutch lever for the pedal. That bar. Here is where that connects to. Okay, before it was on the bottom hole, so I had interference on both ways. It was hitting it on top and it was rubbing on the inside. So now it's up nice and tight, up in there. It's gonna come down a little bit, and like I said, I just gotta take about 1.5 inches out of this, weld it up, and that should be fine. All right, let me cut it and see where we end up. All right, so that worked out pretty good. She's up in high gear, pretty good tension. So I want to lock it out, put it in park, and there you go, see? Alright, so now that we got that worked out, the next thing is I'm going to leave it in park for a minute, because the other thing that I had to go back to was the brakes. And basically, this rod with a spring, this rod connects to that same clutch pedal linkage on this side. So I knew that was going to be battle, so I kind of been putting it off. So now's a good time to tackle it. Right here's the actual disc brake, and I'm going to take that off and I'll show you what that looks like and how it works. Okay, here's your brake caliper. You got a couple little pins. These pins slide in them holes. Then there's a little metal bracket right here, very important. If you don't put this back in there, I think it's important anyways. I don't even know what it's for, but I think it's to stop it from breaking these little asbestos or whatever they are. That's the disc brake pad, like on your car or truck or whatever. One piece goes on the rear end. You got your disc brake, rotor, whatever you want to call it. One side's got a shoulder on it. This shoulder goes against the rear end. So I'm going to put clean these out a little bit better. I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on it, and I'm going to put it all back together. Not a lot of anti-seize, just a little bit, just enough so it doesn't bind up in there. I don't like to use grease or oil on anything with the brakes, and to be honest with you, I'm not even 100% sure how this brake slows this thing down. I never drove this tractor for only that one time that you guys seen in the video. It was given to me for this project specifically. Anyways, I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on here, put this back together. This rod here, it works like a cam. Now as you pull this thing forward, it's spring loaded. You can see how it's bent. It pushes on them pins, which pushes the little brake disc onto this here end. So I'll put a little anti-seize on these and I'll put it back together. That long rod, if I can find it, right here. As I showed you, here's that long rod. This spring part connects to this rod, right, this linkage right here. Lever, that's the word I'm looking for, lever. You pull that forward, like I said, and it pushes the pins closed, and that applies pressure to that little disc here. Now, keep in mind, because I flipped this rear end and swung it around, that used to be on the other side facing up. And it was way down here, so there was plenty of clearance, and it was a straight shot to that clutch lever. I'm going to take it out and show you how it goes on there anyways. I've been putting this off, and I knew it. I do have an idea. I may attach this to the clutch lever up there. Let me get this light out of the way. Underneath, come across, cut it, and weld another rod this way and a rod that way. I don't think that's going to work, just for just the angle of it. But we're gonna try. Another option is have a handbrake over here, but I'm not sure it will work, but I'm not sure how I could get it to lock in. That's another option. That'd be the last case scenario. I have one couple more of these rods. They're a little bit smaller, threaded like that. They're just not as thick as the other main brake line, so I can use them. And like I said, come across in there. So let me put this back together, and I'm going to take down the clutch lever one more time, and I'll show you how this attaches underneath. And did I say that this nut's the adjustment? The more you tighten it, it pushes in. Yeah, I think I told you that. If you guys have any questions, you know, leave them in the comments down below. All right, let me put this back together, and I'll get the clutch, the foot levered off. All right, the clutch pedal's out, whatever you want to call it. Here's the rod, the linkage for the clutch mechanism that I welded at a different angle. Okay, that goes there. Now here's how the brake one attached. I went through there and it just had a cotter pin, a washer and a cotter pin on the other side, right there. I don't know if you can see that, but and it just slid back and forth in here, like that. I guess the spring worked with this spacing in here, I would assume. I'm not 100% sure. So it's a good thing I took pictures. I took pictures, but I didn't pay attention to how everything worked. I know. But so like I said, I took that apart just to show you how it works. I'm going to put it back in there, see where this rod lands, and then I'm going to cut it. I'll mock it up and I'll cut it, and I'll make another piece over here to go that way. I just thought of another option too. Okay, because this brake is a pull. I can take this lever and flip it around, make it up top, but now it's going to be a push one. It will be push instead of pull. I'll put the spring on the other side, and I can end up putting this anyways, I can put this lever on facing up the opposite direction. But that's going to put the rod way over here, which may help me if I go with the handbrake while you're sitting in it to pull on it or push on it, whatever it might be. Let me think this out. Yeah, you would have to push the lever to apply that brake. I could have a return spring, but I don't know how, if you wanted to lock it in like an emergency brake, how that would work. Right now it works by the parking brake here. You can see it's a parking brake. So when you lock that down, it can't move. So I don't know. Let's do one thing at a time. I'm all over the place, and I apologize, people. I'm not a very good explainer. So I'll put this all back together. Put the rod over there. Take a measurement. Then I'll take a measurement this way, and we'll see where we land over here. I don't think it's gonna work, but we gotta give it a try, right? Alright, I'm going a different direction. Rather than trying to bend that rod over and then welding it and go like this and making a pretzel out of it, which I don't think is going to work anyway, just because of the pressure and the angles, I'm going to do something different. Let me show you what my plan is. If I can find the rod right here. So, this is where it connects to, right here. Let me get you guys in the camera. Alright, so it connects right in this hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one of these. I already traced it out right there. I got the plasma cutter. I got the drill press. And what I'll do is, I'll cut it out. And then I can, wrong side. Then I can find a spot on this end. Probably over here close somewhere. Over here or there. And I'll weld it on there. I'll put it in there. I'll set the angle and I'll tack it. I think that's the best option. I'm probably still gonna have to come across and go down a little bit, but I got a couple different things here to make I got a couple different rods off the deck that got different bends that, you know, might get me in the area. Or here's another one. It's bent pretty good. I'll just have to put an end on it. All depends. I'm just trying to prepare myself. Something like that effect. I think probably this one's gonna work. Just have to give it a little bit of more, just a little bit of more kick and weld an eyelet on there for the spring. So it'll come in like this. I don't know how well you guys can see that. It's dark. So I'll weld a washer on the end of here to attach the spring to, and that'll get me below everything where I need to be. Because I gotta be, from here forward, I gotta be down below the frame. Because of the way that body comes up and all that, I do not want it to come through the body. I want it to stay down below the frame as much as possible. All right, let me drill this out, then cut it out, get the plasma cutter out, and after I'm done making it, I'll see you guys then. Okay, see, the lever's all hooked up. I got a little piece of tubing in there, keep me guide from flopping around. This spring wanted to drop down, so I put a little piece of tubing in the corner there, just as a guide. All right, let me get you guys nice and close. Okay, put your foot on the brake. Working nicely. Now the center nut is your adjustment. The tighter you get it, it brings them pads in closer to the disc. Well, only one pad, the pad on the outside. The pad on the inside on the housing is a fixed one. So if you guys don't have brakes, you might want to check this out on your ride-on tractor. So we got that done. There was a couple little issues I had. When I first lowered this thing, you guys seen in the beginning, and I took it for a ride, I knew I had a couple bugs I had to work out. One was a misalignment on the belt and interference on the clutch pedal bracket going across. I knew I was going to have to add a brake, and I just didn't know how I was going to do it because the brake was on the other side. Anyways, now it's time to do it since we got the body all off, set aside. I wanted to get all them little odds and ends done. So we got our belt straightened out, I think, pretty much so. And we got our brake pedal done. So next I think we're gonna work on finishing up this exhaust right here. I'm gonna let it down and I'm gonna bring it out and we're gonna 90 it out in front of the tire. But I'm gonna have to put this panel on to see where that falls. All right, so I'm gonna get a little closer to the welder. My welder don't reach, well it does, but I don't feel like moving half the garage to get the welder out here. So I'll get this back down on the ground. I'm gonna move it a little bit closer and we're gonna work on this exhaust. All right, so as you can see, I notched this out a little bit, but it's not gonna be enough. I don't like the thing is, so I think I'm gonna take it off, take a little bit more pie, take another little cut out of here and bend it down. So let me get this off. I do have this piece here. It's got a bend going upwards already from the handle, the original handle, and that's pretty close. But I already made a pie cut in here on this piece to pull it up to get it where I want to go. So let me get this off, and I want to just angle this down just a bit more. All right, let's get it off. All right, so I want to take give that a little bit more bend. So I'm gonna take a little piece out of it to give me some more kick down. All right, so I give it a little gouge. put it back on. It should be enough that we should be able to bend it by hand. So let me get it back on. Okay, we get our pie cut out. I'm gonna stick an extension in there and just give it a hit. We don't know exactly where we're gonna be, so it's gonna be trial and error. Body on, body off. All right, let's put the body on. And I think that's pretty good right there. So we're gonna tack it, get the weld over here, we'll tack everything, and we'll see what it looks like underneath the body before we go any further. All right, that's looking pretty good right there. All right, a little few more tacks. All right, so we got our little pie cut right here. So we're going to bring that up a little bit. Okay. Pretty straight. I'll show you how we're gonna, I got this here bracket too if I can find it. Just to give it a little bit of support, I got this muffler bracket that will bend it kind of like this, and bend it there. You get what I'm saying? With a clamp. All right. I'll probably do that over here somewhere. Cut it. Put a self tapper on there or something. We'll figure it out. Because you're gonna need support. This thing's gonna rattle. All right. I'm gonna put the body on and see what it looks like from there. So that's gonna be pretty good. Now, we just gotta establish where we're coming out. I'm just gonna get a rough idea where we're gonna come out over here, because I can see it, you guys can't. I get a visual where it's gonna be. So, it's not hitting, so it's perfect. It's at the perfect height right now. So, there's a little hole here as my reference point. So, we're gonna have to cut this pipe back and be around in here somewhere. Like that. And that'll give us that thing. So I'm gonna make a mark on here. And we'll cut it. And then we'll have to cut this to length afterwards. Right here. We'll have to cut that to length. This is gonna be too long. So I gotta take an inch. I'll take an inch. I'm probably gonna take an inch out of this thing. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'm gonna cut this. We'll clean this all off. We'll take it off and we'll weld it all up, and then we'll put our brackets on. All right. All right. So we got the whole exhaust just tacked on. See what I'm talking about? Why? And that's why we're gonna put that bracket in there somewhere. All right. Let's put the I'm gonna put the body on. Lower body. See what it looks like. Oh yeah, nice. See how that comes out behind the rear tire? I'm just gonna kick it up a little bit, just a little bit, and I'm good with that. What do you guys think? All right, so I'll take it all apart, then I'm gonna weld it. But you can't weld it all at once. You can only weld a little at a time, because by the time you're done, it will not be the same as when you started. If you try to weld them all up, you're gonna do little tacks all around. Also, the metal will just get distorted and it'll all be out of whack. Alright, so let's get it off and weld it all up. Okay, that's gotta cool off before we even touch it. So go grab yourself a cold one. I'm gonna go get another coffee. Then we're gonna grind this up, make it all nice and clean, pretty, and put it back on and see where we're at. Hi everybody. Alright, I apologize, it's dark out. As I was editing the video, the ending was corrupt, so I'm out here doing it at night. Sorry about that. Anyways, there's our completed exhaust, all made out of an old hand truck handle. In the LS world, we would call that a long tube header. As you can see, there's a little bracket I had. I didn't have a mini exhaust clamp, so I just used a hose clamp, and that thing's pretty solid. Actually, I picked up this here muffler in case I decide to add that on there. I don't know if I'm going to go that route yet. What do you guys think? Should I leave it open header, or should I add the muffler? Don't forget, it's all about the kids. Here's your little tech tip. When you add a long header like this, you're adding horsepower. And if you want to figure out how much horsepower you're adding, you take that header pipe off that you made, fill it up with a cup of water, time how many seconds it takes to dump it out. Whatever that time is, multiply it by your engine size. And that'll give you how much horsepower a header will add to your small engine. Here's your tech tip. Actually, that's a bunch of bull. I just made that up, but it sounded good, didn't it? So, anyways, back just for... Actually, let me show you what it looks like with the body on. See if I can do this with one hand. Bear with me. Grab the light. And that's where it comes out. In the next video, I'll get you some better shots, but I think it looks pretty good right where it's at. Just to recap, because I don't explain things very well, we took care of some of the bugs, some of the stuff that was putting it off from the beginning, including belt alignment, belt interference, adding a brake pedal to the original clutch mechanism. We adjusted the clutch rod and bent that into place. We got into the brake caliper, and made the flange for the clutch lever to make the rear caliper work, brake work. And I built in enough adjustment so that if anything's not working correctly, at least I got some adjustment, whether it's in the main spring, I can adjust it there, I can adjust it on either the brake rod or the clutch lever. So, that's going to be a wrap on this video. Next video coming out. Keep in mind, I'm a little bit ahead of where these videos come out. So, next video is going to be body and paint, reassembly, and actually, while we're thinking about it, what color should we paint this? I know you're seeing a lot of red, but that could be temporary. So far, the kids want purple. The only thing that's not up for debate is the console. I'm keeping that black and the steering wheel black. Everything else, we can change. Where do you guys think we should paint it? What color should we paint it? Keep it red, change it, leave it in the comments down below. That's gonna be it on this video. Like I said, next one, reassembly. We got bumpers, we got lights. I got a lot of cool features to go on this, a lot of neat accessories that I'm not gonna disclose. You guys gonna have to wait till the next video to see them. And if you don't have that bell lit up and see that notification, you're gonna miss out. So make sure that bell's lit up for notification. If you haven't subscribed to Papa Kenny's Workshop, please hit that subscribe button. Most of all, please hit that like button, pound that like button, and keep on sharing. It gets this channel noticed, and I appreciate it. Like I said in the beginning, totally humbling how much interest this is in this build. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.